this color on the back of the squirrel, just kind of pushing it into that burnt sienna color that I had initially on here. And it really starts to get kind of a light gray. Alright, stay still. Right up in there, it really starts getting to be a light gray, so I'm going to move down to the lower part of my palette. Hold my, yeah, this is about the color of the light gray, but I still need to get some of these dark streaks in here. So I'm going to dry wipe my brush and go back to a slightly lightened version of my burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. And just sort of scrub this in, but leaving spaces. I've just got kind of a thin coat on it. Paint on my brush. Ooh, you can see I had a lot of blue right there. I didn't do a good mix, so I'll dip into a little bit of that burnt umber, straight burnt umber, and work that into it to kind of tone down that blue. Again, I'm putting a really thin layer on here so that I'll still be able to come in with my light color and create the fur effects on my squirrel. Alright, so dry wipe my brush in the paper towel rag. And now I'm going to dip into my lightest version of my paint. That pretty much matches what I've got there. Lay my brush down. Just trying to emulate the fur, just little short strokes. If I can create a stripe, dry wipe the brush, go back and forth like that. Again, we're just trying to we're trying to get basically the canvas covered, and then we'll come back and create more details and get this to really, really look like the fur. Another way that you could do that might be a little bit easier, what I'm doing is a wet on wet paint session where I try to just get almost the whole thing done in one session. Unless of course I get interrupted, then I would have to stop. But if you wanted to have an easier way to do this, what you could do is take and this dark color that I use, paint that whole section of the body, all of this with that dark color, let it dry overnight, and then come back in with your lighter colors on top of it. And you know, you would be able to, like if I was to start scratching out, see if this was completely black underneath there, if I scratched away this light paint, then you know, dark would show right here. This canvas is really not, I don't have enough paint on there to be able to do that with the white. I want to actually paint the fur on it today, so that's why I'm not doing that for the scratching out the highlights of the squirrel right now. I'm going to go back to that eye. I need to finish the light area around the eye. So I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna and some white. If you hold your paintbrush up to your photo, it should disappear into the color that you're trying to create. So I'm going to lay this color down. Dry wipe my brush. That's where I noticed a little painting mistake, like right here, that area should be dark. It doesn't have a light circle all the way around the eye. It's like a letter C. Looks like a Cincinnati letter C there. Now go back to that burnt sienna and white mixture. Throw a little highlight on that ear. Highlight there. And let's get a little highlight on the nose, kind of define that a little bit. That ear's a little bit long, so I'm going to push the paint upward and shorten that. Push that upward. So can come in here and I've got that #1 bristle brush. I just kind of tap in the rose there. It has the highlight color. If I make my stroke and don't keep going over that same spot and just keep moving down, it will keep adding the light color. But if I lay this light color down like that and then come back over and try to blend it, you can see how quickly we lose that color. Alright, so I'm going to take my larger brush again and go ahead and block in that color there for the belly. It's basically the same, light color that we were using up there. When I put that on, I actually feel like I'm seeing a little bit more of a yellow, so I'm going to add just a touch of yellow ochre to that mixture. And I mean just a pin dot amount, because you want it tinted a little bit, but you don't want to, make it so obvious that it just looks like a yellow blob on there. See how I warmed that up? Again, it's just, visually that's what I was seeing right there. Getting this light color in kind of helps me to finalize the shape of my squirrel. Now I can see where the little paws are supposed to be. So I'm going to dry wipe my brush, get back into my dark color. Just make a couple little indications where the hands are. And let's get that mouth in there, there. And then we've got him gnawing on something red, some kind of a berry. And then as we move outward here, we want to start thinking about having our snow expanding off of the squirrel. So we're going to work that into the background.